Discover the heartwarming moment. A little boy revealed his amazing connection to a homeless child, in the bustling heart of an American city, where dreams of success often collide with the harsh reality of life. 8-year-old Johnny was about to reshape his understanding of friendship forever. It was a sunny afternoon, the kind that felt like magic, when he slipped away from the laughter of his friends to run an errand for his mother. Little did he know, destiny had a different plan waiting just around the corner. As Johnny turned the corner by the city park, he stumbled upon Leo. A boy not much older than him, with dirt-smudged cheeks and wild hair, was sitting on the pavement, sketching a garden hidden amidst the bustling city buildings. Instead of fear or hesitation, Johnny felt a pull like a warm light breaking through clouds. Curiosity sparked like a bright firework in his chest. "Hey there. What are you drawing?" Johnny asked, leaning closer. Leo looked up, his piercing blue eyes shining with an unexplained depth. "A secret garden," Leo said proudly. "I found it behind the old library." From that moment, a friendship began as they explored hidden parks and secret gardens together, laughing and sharing their dreams of adventures. They grew to understand each other in ways no one else could. Johnny, with his bright-eyed hope, and Leo, with a heart that knew both beauty and struggle. Their laughter turned into whispered secrets, feeling cozy and safe in their little world, far from the expectations of others. But not everyone saw their bond the same way. When Johnny returned to school, his friends couldn't comprehend his friendship with Leo. "Why are you hanging out with a homeless kid?" they teased, laughter echoing like bitter wind. With each taunt, Johnny felt a knot tightening in his chest, whispering doubts into his heart. Could he truly have a friend like Leo? Was it wrong to care about someone who lived differently than him? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Undeterred, Johnny proposed a project at school, a drive to gather donations for the homeless. His excitement bubbled over, but the reception was colder than he expected. Many adults turned away, dismissing the notion that someone like Leo could deserve compassion. Johnny's heart sank as the weight of judgment pressed down on him, making him question whether their bond was truly worth anything at all. Then came the day of chaos. An unexpected fire erupted in a nearby building, sending smoke curling over the skyline. The community erupted into panic, everyone running, shouting. Johnny felt that knot in his chest tighten again, fluttering with uncertainty. But Leo, in that moment of fear, surprised everyone. With unmatched bravery, he rushed into the fray, helping an elderly neighbor find safety. As Johnny watched, tears prickling his eyes, he felt a shift. The community began to rally, witnessing Leo's courage, igniting conversations about compassion and understanding. Johnny's heart swelled as he saw people reevaluate their perceptions of others, beginning to see the beauty locked within every individual. Together, Johnny and Leo stood strong, surrounded by whispers of respect and change, looking towards a future that felt nebulous yet hopeful. Would their friendship survive? Would their bond alter how the world viewed those struggling? The horizon shimmered with the promise of something new, but shadows of prejudice still loomed, leaving Johnny's heart racing with both fear and excitement, wondering what tomorrow would truly hold. The next day brought a stillness to the city, but for Johnny, everything felt charged with expectation. He woke up early, his heart skipping like a stone over the water, ideas swirling in his mind like leaves caught in a breeze. Today felt different. He could almost taste the fresh possibilities that lay ahead. As he gathered his backpack, Johnny remembered Leo's brave act from the day before. He didn't want that moment to fade into just another story. He wanted to build on it. Johnny raced to the park, almost tripping over his own feet with excitement. He was determined to find Leo and share his plan. The sun shone brightly, illuminating the pathways and casting playful shadows. Johnny spotted Leo sitting on the same pavement, sketchbook in hand. This time, he was drawing a scene filled with laughter, kids playing in a park adorned with flowers. "Hey, Leo!" Johnny called, his voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Leo looked up, a grin spreading across his dirt-smudged face. "Hey, Johnny! Check this out," he said, flipping the sketch around. "It's a park I wish we could build together. I love it. But we can make it real, you know," Johnny said, his heart pounding with excitement. "What if we could turn that idea into something bigger? Like a community project?" Leo's eyes widened. "You mean like make a real park?" "Exactly." Johnny felt the energy crackling between them. "We could ask for donations, help gather supplies, and invite everyone to join in. After what happened yesterday, I think people are ready to help out." The two boys exchanged a determined look. The world might not see them as equals, but they were ready to prove that friendship could bridge even the biggest gaps. In the following days, Johnny and Leo put their plan into action. They wrote flyers about the park project, showcasing Leo's drawings, and filled them with messages of hope and unity. Johnny shared the idea with his classmates, and though many were skeptical, a few began to come around, inspired by Leo's brave actions. As they prepared for their first community meeting in the park, tension swirled in Johnny's chest. What if no one showed up? What if adults dismissed their project just as they had before? "You know, Leo," he murmured, "sometimes I think about what everyone will say. I want to show them you matter." Leo nodded, his expression serious. "They will see. If we can help one person understand, it could change everything." The day of the meeting arrived, bright and filled with promise. Families gathered in the park, drawn by whispers of friendship and purpose. Johnny felt an electric buzz as he watched familiar faces mingling with strangers. When he stepped up to speak, Johnny's voice trembled for a moment, but he quickly steadied himself, remembering Leo's unwavering support. "Thank you all for coming. Today, we're not just looking to build a park. We're here to show that everyone deserves a place where they belong." As he spoke, Johnny noticed a woman in the crowd, tears glistening in her eyes. She was someone he recognized from the neighborhood, one of those who had once brushed off his ideas. But now, her face was full of something new. This was the moment. The shift he hoped for was happening before his eyes. As the crowd began to murmur in excitement, a voice broke through. "What if we turned this into a festival? A day where everyone comes together?" Johnny's heart soared. Could it really be happening? Was this the start of something monumental? But just as hope surged, Johnny caught sight of a familiar figure slipping away from the crowd. Leo's expression had shifted, a mix of pride and concern flickering across his face. What was he thinking? As the meeting unfolded, Johnny felt a wave of urgency flash through him. He needed to understand Leo's thoughts before it was too late. "Where are you going?" Johnny called out, quickening his pace to catch up. Leo turned, a hint of uncertainty shadowing his gaze. I don't know if this is right," he admitted, looking back at the crowd. "What if they forget about us?" Johnny's heart clenched. "Leo, we are just starting. We can show them we matter. We have each other, right?" Leo hesitated, the weight of his past visible in his eyes. "But what if everyone just goes back to their lives once the festival's over?" Johnny felt a surge of frustration mixed with empathy. They were standing on the edge of change, but Leo was pulling back. How could he reassure his friend that belief mattered, that their bond would shine through? "Let us give them a chance," Johnny insisted, stepping closer. "You matter to me. Let us show them the truth in friendship." But would Leo truly believe that? Just then, the crowd erupted in cheers. They were ready to move forward, but would Leo step with them? The tension was there, thick in the air, as the question lingered, would their journey bind them together or pull them apart? Johnny's heart raced as he walked alongside Leo, the tension boiling over in his chest. The crowd's cheers danced around them, a mix of hope and hesitation swirling in the air. He could feel the warmth of their encouragement, but he also sensed Leo's growing doubt. "Look, I understand it's scary," Johnny said, struggling to find the right words. "But this could mean everything for you and for all of us. People can change if we show them that we care." Leo's brow furrowed as he gazed at the crowd. "But what if they see us differently after? I don't want to be just a project for them. I want to be me." Johnny paused, taking in Leo's words. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "And you will be, Leo. You're not just an idea. You're my friend. You're real." A flicker of something brightened Leo's eyes, but uncertainty still lingered. "But what if we fail?" he asked, his voice trembling slightly. Johnny shook his head. "What if we soar? We could inspire everyone. This is our chance." They shared a moment, connecting deeply amidst the chatter of the crowd. Johnny could see the doubt in Leo's eyes starting to waver, but it wasn't enough. He needed Leo by his side, not just physically, but fully committed. "Let's make a pact," Johnny suggested. "You and me, no matter what happens today, we stick together. If things go south, we'll figure it out. But if we take this leap together, we could create something amazing." Leo stared at Johnny, and for a moment, the world around them faded. The cheers and chatter were just background noise, drowning in the weight of their conversation. Finally, with a deep breath, Leo nodded slowly. "Okay. Together." Just as they reached this silent agreement, a surge of excitement rippled through the crowd again. An older man, his voice deep and strong, stood up on a bench, clapping his hands to draw attention. "All right folks, let's turn this moment into a celebration. Why don't we brainstorm some ideas for our new community park?" A wave of whispers echoed through the audience, enthusiasm bubbling like a fresh soda. Johnny felt a rush of energy course through him. "See, Leo. They want to hear from us." Leo glanced back at Johnny, a slight smile breaking through the remnants of his doubt. It was the first glimmer of belief, and Johnny felt his heart soar. This was what they needed: community, connection, togetherness. As people began throwing out ideas, the air shifted with laughter, applause, and hands raised, all echoing their desire for change. Leo listened intently, his earlier wariness softening as he caught bits and pieces of shared dreams mingling with the undeniable warmth of growing unity. Then, a small voice piped up from the back of the crowd. "What about a mural for everyone to be part of?" It was a little girl, clutching a paintbrush as if it were a treasure. "Yes," Johnny replied, spinning around to face the crowd. "A mural that tells our story." The crowd erupted into cheers, and even Leo laughed, the tension finally breaking. He looked at Johnny, eyes shining with a mix of admiration and newfound hope. Johnny felt a wave of pride wash over him. They were fighting together for something real, something tangible. He took a step closer to Leo, waiting for that moment of connection to solidify, but then, just as he was about to share another idea, a loud crash echoed from the edge of the park. A small group of teens was laughing as they kicked a soccer ball, but the ball veered dangerously close to a homeless man sitting nearby, catching everyone off guard. Johnny and Leo exchanged a glance, and within it, the echo of something deeper rang true: the balance between community and separation, connection and disconnection. How they responded right now could shape everything. As the ball rolled closer to the man, Johnny felt the weight of the moment press down on their shoulders, stirring questions within him. Could friendship soften hearts? How could their journey truly unite the community when there were still walls to break down? The tension in the air shifted again, and Johnny steeled himself, ready to act. But would he have the courage to bridge that gap? It was an unknown path ahead, and Johnny felt uncertainty grip his heart as the afternoon sun painted the park with golden light. Would they find the answers they were looking for? As the soccer ball rolled toward the homeless man, Johnny instinctively stepped forward, heart pounding. The murmur of the crowd faded into an anxious hush. He didn't just see the man in worn clothes and bare feet, he felt the weight of the world pressing against him. The group of teens, oblivious to the tension, laughed and ran after the ball, their carefree energy creating a stark contrast to the worried expressions surrounding them. Johnny took a breath, his mind racing. He could let it roll away and ignore it, or he could intervene. "Hey! Watch the ball!" Johnny shouted, his voice sharper than he intended. The laughter quieted, and heads turned. Leo's gaze, wide and concerned, met his, encouraging him to step in. The man's eyes flicked up just as the ball slowed to a stop at his feet. A moment hung in the air, a moment where empathy could breach the invisible barrier between them. Johnny saw the flicker of annoyance cross the man's face, though it quickly transformed into resignation. It was a look that tugged at his heart. "Do you want to kick it back?" Johnny asked, his voice softening as he approached the man. He wanted to connect, to show that he saw him, not just as an obstacle in their plans but as a part of their shared community. "It looks like they could use a little help over there." The man looked from the ball to Johnny, surprise breaking through the initial weariness in his eyes. Slowly, he nodded, bending down to pick it up. The crowd held its breath, and for a heartbeat, everything stood still. With cautious strength, the man kicked the ball back toward the teens, sending it soaring into the air. There was a moment of silence before cheers erupted, a wave of excitement washing over the crowd. "He did it!" Someone shouted, and the joyful energy spread like wildfire. Johnny felt a surge of hope and relief. Maybe this small act of kindness could ripple out into something bigger. The clutter of laughter and joy danced around him again, but Johnny still saw the man by himself, tucked away at the edge of the gathering. Leo moved closer, finding his voice. "How about we invite him to join in?" Johnny felt a knot in his chest. What if he doesn't want to? The fear crept in, flashing visions of rejection, of missing the mark in his desire to build a bridge. But what if he does? Leo replied softly, a glimmer of courage lighting his own eyes. "This is what the park is about, right? Everyone belongs." With renewed determination, Johnny approached the man again, feeling the warmth of Leo's presence beside him. "Hey! Would you like to join us for the ideas we're sharing about the park?" he asked, genuinely hopeful. "We're trying to create a space for everyone, and your thoughts would really matter." The man hesitated, studying Johnny's face, searching for sincerity. For a brief moment, Johnny worried he had messed up, that he'd blinked in the vital seconds of transformation. But then something stirred in the man's expression. A faint smile broke through the layers of reservation as he stood taller. "Sure," he finally said, the word surprising him as much as it did Johnny. Johnny felt his heart leap, and he glowed with relief. He waved for the crowd to come closer. "Everyone. This is..." He hesitated, unsure of how to address him. "Call me Sam," the man said, as Leo stepped forward, offering his hand. "Johnny," he replied, shaking Sam's hand warmly. "And this is Leo. Welcome." As the crowd began to gather around Sam, excitement bubbled up. Ideas flowed more freely, drawing in everyone, even the teens who kicked the ball. Together, a tapestry of dreams began to unfold: fruit trees, picnic tables, areas for art and sports. But among the joy bubbling up, a quiet doubt stirred inside Johnny. They had taken a step toward breaking barriers, but there was still so much to do. Could one day change hearts, or would the world grow hesitant again? As laughter and ideas mingled, Johnny watched the faces of those around appreciate Sam's words. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow over the park, filling it with a golden sheen. How many more connections could they make? Amid this hopeful moment, Johnny sensed again that questions loomed ahead. Would they truly be able to pave a path of compassion in their community's heart? And just as that thought crossed his mind, a child rushed forward, gripping a paintbrush, ready to add their own dreams to the mural of change. What would this mural reveal? As Johnny watched the little boy dash toward Sam, a paintbrush clutched tightly in his small fist, the energy shifted around them. The crowd's laughter faded into a curious hush. The boy, no more than 6, approached with wide eyes and a big grin, untainted by the complexities of adult anxieties. "Can I paint with you?" he asked Sam, his voice ringing clear and bright. The innocence in his request made Johnny's heart swell. It was a simple question filled with warmth and openness, and Sam's weathered face softened, disappearing a bit under the weight of the boy's earnestness. "Of course you can, buddy," Sam replied, his deep voice laced with surprise, as if the boy's invitation had awakened something deep within him. As the boy handed the paintbrush to Sam, Johnny felt a spark of connection igniting in the air. The crowd shifted closer, intrigued by this unlikely pairing of a little boy and a man whom they almost overlooked. Tiny fingers helped guide Sam's hand, demonstrating a shocking ease between them, a moment of genuine joy that cut through barriers they hadn't expected to breach. "What do you want to paint?" Sam asked, caught off guard by the interaction. "A rainbow. And a big tree," the boy exclaimed, jumping up and down. "Trees are for climbing. They are tall. I love climbing." His enthusiasm spread like wildfire, igniting smiles, laughter, and, surprisingly, engagement from the onlookers. As Sam dipped the brush into the paint and pressed it against the canvas, colors mixed: bright reds, cheerful yellows, vibrant greens, each stroke revealing a different aspect of his spirit. More kids gathered around, eager to join, lines of friendship blurring along with the paint. "Look! A trunk!" yelled a girl, mimicking the stout movements of a tree growing strong. Sam laughed, feeling the warmth of the moment growing inside. Johnny felt a wave of relief wash over him. This was what the park was supposed to be: community, connection, shared dreams. A growing crowd gathered, adults leaning in. Johnny's heart raced, sensing the shift. The conversations began to blossom. Words of ideas poured out in bursts. "What if we had a section for kids with games? We could put in a garden where everyone could plant something." More voices joined, creating a chorus of hope. But as the sun began to dip further, flickering shadows reminded Johnny of the shadows that lingered in their own lives. He caught a glimpse of Sam, who was no longer just a bystander but a man sharing laughter and trust with children. Yet, doubt crept back in. Would this exchange last? Would tomorrow be different? Was it enough to paint over the pain with colors of joy? Sam paused, looking around at the crowd, and his eyes met Johnny's. There was so much unsaid there, so many layers of life behind those eyes. In that shared gaze, Johnny understood. "Hey, Sam!" Johnny called out suddenly, filled with newfound courage. "What's your favorite memory of a park?" The air stilled, anticipation holding everyone in place. Sam opened his mouth, hesitating for just a heartbeat before leaning into the moment. "Back when I was a boy, I remember a park just like this one," he began slowly, but the words seemed to instantly draw everyone in, a connection weaving tighter around them. As Sam's story unraveled, Johnny felt a weight lift. But then, amidst the enchanting tales, Johnny noticed a flicker of unease pass over Sam's expression, something deeper. What was it? What memories were hidden beneath that warm smile? The crowd hung on every word, but all Johnny could focus on was the look spread across Sam's face, aching yet full of life. What was it that troubled him? Across the other side of the park, the child with the paintbrush brought the colors to life, and amidst the laughter, Johnny realized they might be a part of something greater. But they weren't done yet. Would sharing their stories heal old wounds, or would it reveal the pain veiled beneath the joy? He couldn't help but wonder where this journey would lead them all next. Sam continued, his voice steady but filled with the weight of years gone by. "I remember the smell of fresh grass and the sound of laughter mingling with the rustling leaves. There was a tree, an old oak that towered over everything else. I used to climb it every day, it was my sanctuary." A ripple of laughter broke out as the little boy listened with wide eyes, completely captivated. His innocence radiated like sunlight on a spring day, and for a brief moment, Sam's face lit up with a glow that chased away the shadows clouding his past. But there was one day. Sam's voice dropped as he turned his gaze to the ground. I was up in that tree, feeling invincible. I slipped and fell, right onto the dirt. I thought I was hurt, but all I got was a bruised ego. I remember looking up and seeing my mom running toward me, panic etched on her face. She picked me up and held me tight, and in that moment, nothing else mattered. The boy interjected, did it hurt? Sam chuckled, a genuine sound easing the heaviness in the air. Nah, just a little. My mom told me it was okay to be scared, but I needed to be brave too. The adults in the crowd exchanged glances, their expressions softening with the bond being forged between Sam and the child. Some pulled out phones, capturing the moment, but most of the audience remained absorbed in Sam's storytelling. It was as if they were transported back to their own childhoods, where the simplicity of a park held infinite possibility. Sometimes, we forget that being brave doesn't mean you're not afraid, Sam continued, his eyes now scanning the crowd, finding connection everywhere. We all fall sometimes, and the most important thing is getting back up. This park, it feels different today. Like it's breathing new life. Like it's a place to start all over again. Johnny felt a swell in his chest, a mixture of pride and admiration. He saw the ripple effects of Sam's words as they settled in the hearts of those listening. Conversations around them buzzed with renewed energy, each person sharing little bits of their own stories. A woman stepped forward, her face etched with the lines of worry and hardship. What if we could create a space right here? A safe space for everyone, the kids, the families. A community garden, maybe. Around her, nods and murmurs of agreement swelled. This was becoming something extraordinary. A glimmer of hope where the crumbs of despair had once been scattered. What if we told our stories in this park? Another voice chimed in, excitement rising. Shared our laughter and pain. The boy turned back to Sam, his eyes lit up like stars. Can we paint again tomorrow? I want to add butterflies. And a huge sun. Absolutely, Sam replied, his heart swelling again, warmth radiating from the tiny hands gripping his. And I'll help you climb the tree too. Johnny's heart raced at the transformation. In that moment, everything felt possible. But just as a swell of happiness washed over him, Sam's expression flickered again. Johnny could see it, the small moments of clarity clashing with shadows still lingering. What could Sam be holding back? Everyone sensed it, the promise of hope, intertwined with threads of the past. Was this exchange merely a painting over old wounds, or was it the beginning of a truly healing journey for Sam? As the sun dipped lower, casting a golden light across the canvas of their lives, Johnny realized one thing was certain: they had stumbled upon something powerful today. But would they find the courage to uncover deeper truths? The crowd began to disperse, laughter and voices blending into one big symphony of hope, while Sam stood there, paintbrush in hand, reflecting deeply. Tomorrow would come, but it felt like the beginning of something more profound, a connection meant to grow. But just as Johnny took a step closer, he caught Sam's pained gaze again, and the question bubbled up within him: what was the unspoken story that Sam was still holding within? The sun began its descent, draping the park in warm hues. The laughter of children played in the air while adults chatted, their faces soft and brighter. Johnny noticed Sam, paintbrush poised but still, lost in thought. Hey, are you okay? Johnny called out, stepping closer. Sam blinked and looked up, his expression momentarily startled. Yeah, just thinking. Johnny could feel the weight in Sam's tone. About what? Sam hesitated, glancing at the crowd enjoying the park, then back at Johnny. It's just, these moments are quick, you know. 1 minute, you're sharing stories and laughter, and the next, it can all slip away. It was a raw insight, the kind that could settle uninvited in the heart. Johnny nodded slowly, unsure of how to comfort him. Yeah, but we can make new memories. We just need to keep showing up, right? True, Sam replied, a flicker of hope in his eyes. But what if? He paused, the unsaid words hanging heavy. What if they never last? Johnny leaned closer. What if you allow them to change you? Maybe that's the key. He was surprised by his own words, which seemed to resonate in Sam as much as with himself. In that fragile moment, a little girl sprinted past them, her laughter ringing clear. She stopped momentarily, her face glowing with joy. "Look! I'm just like a butterfly," she announced, feeling an energy that was contagious. "See?" Johnny said, motioning toward the child. "You can be anything you want in a place like this." Sam smiled softly, the tension easing slightly. "A butterfly, huh? I guess we all need to break out of our cocoons sometimes." As the evening wore on, people continued to drift toward the tree where the painting had begun. Inspired by Sam's stories, they brought food and bright colors, snacks to share, paintbrushes, and paint-soaked dreams. As hands of all sizes began to paint, the boy that had captured Sam's attention began drawing butterflies on the canvas. It wasn't just the bright colors that stood out, it was the purity of creation, something fresh, without fear. "Sam!" the boy called. "Look at mine." He held up his painted creation, a clumsy but beautiful interpretation of a butterfly. "That's incredible!" Sam exclaimed, a spark lighting his spirit. "You made it fly." The boy beamed as adults gathered around him, sharing in the vibrance. But Johnny could still see the shadow lingering in Sam's eyes, a distant lantern fighting to shine through. "Can I tell you a secret?" Johnny asked softly, leaning closer. Sam's gaze flickered to him, ready. "Sure. I used to be afraid of falling too. I think we all are, deep down. But maybe we don't have to be afraid of the fall. It's what we learn after that matters most." Sam's face shifted as if a curtain had lifted. "So, it's not just about falling, is it?" "No," Johnny said, his heart racing from the connection. "It's about what we do afterward." Just then, the little boy excitedly called out again, "Can we paint a rainbow next?" "That sounds perfect." Sam replied, his enthusiasm returning, yet still tempered with uncertainty. Standing nearby, a teenage girl with her arms crossed overheard. She chimed in, "Rainbows remind us that there's always something beautiful after the storm." Sam's eyes widened. Words from a stranger, but they struck deep. Could it be a new story waiting to unfurl in the park they were creating together? But as laughter bubbled and colors swirled around him, Sam took a breath, the question still nagging. What storm lingered in his heart, waiting to be transformed into a rainbow? With renewed energy, the painting continued, but the weight of Sam's unspoken story cast a long shadow. Would he uncover it in time? And as the night enveloped them, a fresh sense of purpose ignited the group. But would all of their stories meld into something more than just a canvas? Would they find the courage to explore the storm hidden beneath the surface? As the vibrant colors splashed across the canvas, the evening air felt alive with possibility. Laughter rang out as adults and kids alike smeared paint on each other, and for a moment, the weight of the world faded. Sam glanced around, absorbing the warmth of connection. Each smile felt like a thread weaving him closer to the people surrounding him. "Okay, everyone. A rainbow it is," Johnny called, bringing the group's attention to a blank space next to the butterflies. "But let's make it a group effort. Who wants to paint the next color?" A chorus of volunteers erupted, hands shooting up with eagerness. Sam watched as hands dipped into the pots, bright reds, cool blues, and sunny yellows mixing together. It was as if they were painting not just a canvas, but their stories, and they were doing it together. The boy who had painted the butterflies bounced up and down with excitement. "I'll do the red. I want it to be bright like a fire truck." He scooped a brush, and his small hands danced across the surface, leaving thick strokes behind. "Look!" the boy exclaimed, his voice ringing with delight. "It's already coming together." He stepped back, admiring his work. "Beautiful." Sam encouraged, his heart swelling at the joy radiating from the child. "Just like you. You're on a roll." Before long, Other kids joined, each one adding their splash of color. The laughter crescendoed, and Sam found himself swept into the energy of creation. He picked up a brush and began dipping it into the bright green paint, imagining the lush blades of grass, every stroke a heartbeat of hope. They say rainbows come after storms, the teenage girl mused, standing beside him, her brush poised against a deep blue. But sometimes, it takes a team to make it happen. We're the ones creating this. Yeah, Johnny murmured, looking at the merging colors. And each of us brings something different to the table. Sam pondered that, feeling the weight of his past pressing down. The storm inside his heart felt different from everyone else's. Was his pain too heavy for these smiles? As if reading his thoughts, the little girl who had compared herself to a butterfly flitted over. She looked at Sam with wide, innocent eyes. You remember how I said I'm a butterfly? Well, I also know a secret. What is that? Sam leaned closer, curiosity igniting. I found a caterpillar today. If I keep it safe, it'll change into a butterfly too. Just like I did. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and for a moment, Sam smiled genuinely. But beneath her joy, a question lingered: could he transform like that caterpillar, fighting through his darkness into something beautiful? Sam opened his mouth to respond when a soft voice broke through the vibrant chatter. Hey, can I join? A small girl, maybe 8, looked timidly at the group. Her clothes were worn, and her hair unkempt. Of course. Johnny reached out, motioning for her to come closer. We're just about to paint a rainbow. As she hesitated, a flicker of fear danced in her eyes. Sam felt a twinge in his chest, the storm inside him surfacing. That familiar ache of struggle seemed to resonate in the newcomer. Do you want to paint? Sam asked gently, holding out a brush. The girl looked at him, uncertainty etched on her face. I don't really know how. It's okay. Just follow your heart, Sam said, remembering how the boy had transformed his fear into art. Let the colors speak for you. With cautious hope, the girl stepped forward and took the brush. Her fingers trembled but found confidence in the encouragement surrounding her. She dipped the brush into orange and pressed it against the canvas, leaving a tentative mark. Good job. That's a start. The words flowed out of Sam, fueled by the warmth of the moment. As the mix of colors grew, a realization washed over Sam: storms can break, and rainbows can shine, but only if one takes that first step. Would they all find their own way to mend? And just as the air filled with possibilities, Sam noticed a faint shadow crossing the girl's face, hinting at a deeper story beneath her timid surface. Would he find the courage to help her, to explore the hidden storms within all of them, and maybe discover a rainbow together? The girl shifted on her feet, the brush still trembling in her hands. Sam could see the color start to drain from her face, replaced by a deep concern. It was more than just fear of painting, it felt like something heavier, a burden she carried that was far beyond the canvas. Hey, Sam said softly, crouching to her level. What is your name? Maria, she whispered, glancing around, avoiding the gaze of her new peers as if being seen might make her vulnerability even harder to bear. Maria, that's a beautiful name, he said, hoping to coax a smile from her. Her lips flickered, just for a moment, but the weight remained. I can't paint like them, she motioned toward a group of children laughing and splattering paint on one another. I'm not good at anything. The statement felt like a pebble thrown into the calm waters of the gathering, sending ripples through Sam's heart. You're good at being you, and that's enough. Trust me, this is about having fun, not about being perfect. Maria's eyes dropped to the ground, her fingers playing with the brush. But what if my colors don't match? They will. Just let them out, Sam urged, feeling the storm inside his own chest surge. Everyone paints differently. The magic comes from expressing how we feel. What if my colors are too dark? She whispered, her voice almost lost in the laughter around them. For a heartbeat, Sam was struck dumb. Dark colors. He was all too familiar with those shades, the way they could bleed into one's spirit. Sometimes those dark colors are part of our story. You'd be surprised how they can make the bright ones stand out even more, he said, hoping his own words would bring her some clarity. Maria gazed into his eyes, searching for honesty. Really? Really, Sam nodded, a sense of urgency pushing him to connect deeper. Want to paint with me? With a deep breath, she tentatively stepped closer. As they stood side by side in front of the rainbow canvas, Maria dipped her brush, collecting a dark purple hue. Sam's heart raced. Her challenge would be different from the others, but each stroke was a chance for healing. Start wherever you want, he encouraged. Maria boldly pressed the brush to the canvas, drawing a thick line through the colors already layered. As dark purple intertwined with red and blue, a hush settled over the nearby children. Eyes widened, expecting something distasteful. Instead, it turned into a swirl of rich colors. See? That looks amazing. Sam beamed, the encouragement flowing from his soul as he felt lighter. The lines seemed to express a story, one that didn't shy away from the shadows. Just then, the boy who had painted the butterflies turned to the group, admiration sparkling in his eyes. Look! That makes it look even cooler. It's like a storm before the rainbow. Cheers erupted, replacing the heavy silence. Laughter regained its footing as the mixed colors took life, revealing something fresh and beautiful. Maria's face broke into a smile, pure and radiant. Sam felt a pull in his heart, a reminder of his own journey. But something deeper stirred within him, an enlightening realization. Was he only striving to help her, or were they uncovering pieces of themselves together in this moment? As he marveled at the transformation happening, Maria appeared almost unrecognizable. She was suddenly a part of the group, her story interwoven with laughter and joy. Sam watched as she lifted her brush again, this time against a bright orange, feeling the warmth return to her cheeks, but as the canvas grew more colorful, he could sense shadows lurking at the edges. Would they be able to explore those depths together? Could the canvas bear all their storms and still create a rainbow? With newfound determination, Sam leaned closer to Maria, and just then, he noticed a pair of dark eyes observing them from the edge of the gathering, their gaze filled with longing. Who was watching from afar, and how could they be pulled into this celebration of colors and healing? As the sun dipped lower, casting golden rays over the park, the atmosphere brimmed with excitement. Johnny, Leo, and the others were engaged in a communal weave of stories and colors when something magical happened. The laughter turned into a soothing song, and they felt an unspoken bond knitting them together. Everyone, gather round. Johnny called, his voice echoing with enthusiasm. The crowd, vibrant and alive, swarmed closer, drawn by the swirling colors and laughter. Today isn't just about painting a rainbow. It's about creating a space where we can all feel safe to be ourselves. Leo stepped forward, his heart pounding. The fear that once lurked deep within him began to dissolve in the warmth of collective spirit. Yeah. It's okay to show both the bright and the dark colors, he added, nodding towards Maria, who was now surrounded by a group of laughing children, paintbrushes blazing with enthusiasm. Sam looked around, his heart swelling at the transformation happening before his eyes. The new faces, new stories, they all mattered. He realized then that the storm within him was nothing compared to this blooming community. Every mark we make, every story we share, it helps us heal, he said, moving closer to the children. Let us create a mural that tells our truth. Exactly. Johnny grinned, joining Sam at the canvas, his hands covered in paint. It's not just about what we see, it's about everything we feel inside, all mixed together. He glanced around, catching Leo's eye. With a nod, they understood it was time to show everyone that friendship thrived in honesty and vulnerability. The crowd murmured with burgeoning excitement, a ripple of unison that danced like a breeze through the park. Who wants to contribute their ideas? Johnny asked, his voice rising above the excitement, summoning their hopes and dreams. The children jumped at the opportunity, arms flailing as they expressed what the mural meant to them: love, laughter, hope, and acceptance. Let us paint stars for wishes. One child exclaimed. Flowers for happiness. Shouted another. The ideas flowed freely, vibrant and alive, wrapping around them like an embrace. Sam felt a spark of hope ignite inside him. Their stories were no longer anchored down by shadows, they were soaring with wings made of passion and trust. Just then, amidst the lively atmosphere, a voice rang out from the side. It belonged to a young girl with wide eyes. Can I paint a tree? Trees help keep us safe. Everyone paused, captivated by her innocence and wisdom. Absolutely. Leo cheered, beckoning for her to join them. Sam felt his heart warm as they invited her in, each child, each adult contributing to the tapestry of lives intertwined. As the mural came to life with dazzling colors splashed over its surface, Sam took a step back, marveling at the transformative effect of community. Each brushstroke held a story. The dark colors mixed seamlessly with bright hues, an embodiment of all they had overcome together. The sun began to set, casting an orange hue over the park, and with it came a profound silence. Sam looked at the mural, a vivid celebration of their unity, resilience, and shared humanity. But something softer tugged at him, a realization that they were ready to unveil their deeper truths. It was time that he took a deep breath and faced the crowd. I want to share something, he began, his voice steady yet gentle, all eyes on him. I've been afraid that I'd never be worthy of this kind of connection. The crowd shifted, the weight of his words settling upon them. But this right here, this community, this friendship has shown me that our scars don't define us. They connect us. The crowd began to nod, understanding sparkling in their eyes as they absorbed his truth. Johnny felt a warmth spread as he exchanged glances with Leo. They all shared vulnerabilities and strengths, healing together in a space that thrived on compassion. Tears glittered in Maria's eyes as she raised her voice, her soaring confidence shining through. And I was scared too. But painting with all of you has made me feel like I belong. Cheers erupted around Sam, the connection felt real, tangible. Laughter and nods of understanding filled the air. Unexpected friendships were emerging with every stroke on the canvas, and just as hope sparked, it surged within Sam to a breakthrough, a liberation. Around them, newcomers walked in, drawn by laughter and kindness. Families gathered, sharing their experiences, their stories merging with the colors on the canvas. Sam grinned, it was happening, the transformation they had envisioned, all unfolding before his eyes. As the mural grew in grandeur and magnificence, Johnny, Leo, Maria, and Sam stepped back together, witnessing the colors intertwine in a spectacular display of life and resilience. They had woven their individual struggles into something incredibly beautiful. This is just the beginning, Leo said, a wide smile lighting up his face. And in that perfect moment, under the setting sun, they knew it wouldn't just be a mural, it would be a legacy of love, hope, and friendship, spreading beyond the park like wildflowers in spring. There was much work still to be done in the community. The shadows would whisper now and then, but together they would navigate through them. They promised to keep painting their truth, and Sam felt like the storm in his heart had finally begun to clear, revealing the bright future ahead. As the day drew to a close, the rich tapestry of colors stood as a testament to their journey, the healing power of connection, the beauty of vulnerability, and the promise that tomorrow would bring even brighter shades. So let us all be brave, just like Sam, Johnny, Leo, and Maria. Let us keep painting our stories together, embracing every hue of our experiences. If this story touched you, now is the time to take action. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now, because only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.